New tonight on KGW News, a heart-stopping close call for a Hood River mom.
Definitely scared the crap out of me.
The video, she hopes, reminds all of us to slow down. Also tonight, people flock to the coast to try to save a humpback.
There's no way you can move a 5 to 10 ton whale with a few people on the beach.
New at 11, security breach at PDX as a meat cleaver gets past TSA and ends up on a plane. Plus,
I regret the harm I caused to every single person on board that airplane.
the punishment for the former pilot accused of trying to bring down a flight over Portland. And later,
this game was built by you, built by Portlanders.
New tonight, we're talking Monopoly, the Rose City edition, the local landmark that ended up in the top spot. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Mulco. At first at 11, a close call in Hood River where a 6-year-old boy was hit by a car in a crosswalk. The crash was recorded on video. We will freeze it here, but a warning, the full version you're about to see may be tough to watch, though it's important to note the boy is actually okay. Catherine Cook spoke with him and his mother tonight.
The 6-year-old was crossing the street with family when he was hit. His mom is very thankful he's okay and hopes other drivers realize how important it is to slow down. This crosswalk will never look the same to 6-year-old DeAndre.
Very scary.
Or his 10-year-old brother, Zeke. Very good. How much do you love your little brother?
To the world.
On Sunday afternoon, the boys and a friend were crossing here at Cascade and 20th and Hood River when suddenly a car zipped through the crosswalk and hit DeAndre.
Scary. Thought he could have died just right there and then.
Fortunately, DeAndre made it through with just minor injuries.
Definitely scared the crap out of me.
The boy's mom, Zoe, couldn't believe the video, which Hood River police shared with the public. It shows the driver stopping to see if the boys were okay before taking off without calling police.
I would have loved a phone call or reporting. I mean, you don't know what it could have done through the whole thing, and that's all I ask for is at least contact a parent.
You know, we've been seeing more complaints about vehicles not stopping at crosswalks in different locations in town.
Because of that, Hood River Police Lieutenant Don Shaley says they've been posting patrol cars near crosswalks to help combat drivers' continued disregard.
It's troubling when you have people trying to stay safe. They're in a crosswalk doing what they're supposed to do, and children and people are not stopping for them, so it puts more people at risk.
Not okay at all, especially when my kids love going out and riding bikes and going to parks nearby. It's not okay. Definitely need to slow down.
If you know who the driver in this case is, you're asked to call Hood River Police. We'll post the number on KGW.com. In Hood River, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Gotta slow down. Just glad he is okay. All right, to get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, hundreds of National Guard members will be sent home from their Portland deployment. The U.S. Army Northern Command has ordered 100 Oregon Guard members demobilized, though another 100 will remain. Meanwhile, 200 California National Guard troops will also reportedly be sent home. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek wants all Guard members demobilized. She says they've been away from their families for 50 days on what she calls a, quote, unnecessary deployment. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is appealing a federal judge's order that permanently blocked the president from sending troops to Portland streets unless the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals weighs in. The remaining 100 troops will be demobilized on Friday. The TSA is investigating after someone was able to bring a meat cleaver on board a Delta plane at PDX last week. The cleaver was in a carry-on that somehow made it past security and onto the flight headed to Salt Lake. The agency said in a statement, quote, "We take this matter very seriously," end quote. Apparently, Delta staff reported the cleaver to TSA. It's not clear how it was discovered on the plane. All passengers were taken off the aircraft and re-screened. And once again, ODOT is getting ready to shut down I-5 in both directions south of downtown Portland. The closure will last until 5 in the morning. It impacts traffic through the curves between I-405 and Terwilliger Boulevard. ODOT is installing new real-time traffic signs and says another overnight closure might be needed in the future. While switching to a live look over downtown Portland on this Monday night now as we come off a fairly mild mid-November weekend. Matt's here with your first look at the rest of the week and also a sneak peek ahead to Thanksgiving. Right around the corner, Matt.
Yep, that's right, Dave. Another week or so. You know, there is a bit of a nip to the air tonight. more so than the last few nights as temperatures are dropping into the 40s here in the valley. Up at Timberline, below freezing. And look at that dew point at 12 indicating dry and cold air, which we haven't really seen much of in the last week up on the mountain. There's a bit of a breeze too, gusting to about 26 miles an hour. Meanwhile, in the valleys, here's Salem. We're in the 30s already here. So again, a lot cooler than our last several nights. Humidity is coming up too, so I think we will see some fog form in the valleys, but becoming partly cloudy as the sun comes up, and then topping out in the upper 40s tomorrow. So again, quite a bit cooler than the last week or so. Sun set at 4:36 for tomorrow. Got to talk about California too. There is more rain on the way there. We'll get into that in a bit, but for us, morning fog, showers on Thursday. That's really our best bet for any rain this week. And then that early look at Thanksgiving week, which will include some mountain snow. We'll talk about whether or not it's enough to get the ski areas open. David?
Oh, that'll be interesting. Thanks, Matt. In an update, the former Alaska Airlines pilot who tried to shut down a plane's engines mid-flight over Portland will not serve prison time. That's after a federal judge sentenced Joseph Emerson to time served and supervised release. Kyle Boshi was in the courtroom.
After today's sentencing hearing, Joseph Emerson hugged his wife and thanked his friends. He hopes to become a substance abuse counselor and continue helping pilots.
The former Alaska Airlines pilot accused of trying to bring down a passenger flight will serve no prison time. A federal judge spared Joseph Emerson, sentencing him to credit for time served and supervised release for 3 years. Emerson's friends and family supported him in the courtroom.
It's just very sad to see how it's been portrayed. Joe's a great guy, and it's just, mental illness is a real thing.
In October 2023, prosecutors say the off-duty pilot tried to shut down a plane's engines while riding as a passenger in the cockpit. Horizon Flight 2059 from Everett to San Francisco made an emergency landing in Portland. 83 other passengers and crew were on board. In September, Emerson was sentenced in state court to 5 years of probation and community service.
I regret the harm that I caused. I regret the harm I caused to every single person on board that airplane.
Emerson admits he struggled with depression and alcoholism. He'd taken psychedelic mushrooms 2 days before the incident and told investigators he thought he was dreaming. The case drew national attention to the need for more mental health support for pilots.
He's getting to be able to help lots of pilots and not be locked up and be able to be there and help people that are going through mental illness and be able to effectively communicate that they need the help that they need.
Federal prosecutors had asked for 1 year in prison, but in the end, the judge determined Emerson had already faced significant consequences after being fired by the airline and losing his pilot's license. Kyle Boshi, KGW News.
It's unforgivable that they would delay this any longer.
Well, meanwhile, in a Clackamas County courtroom, a murder victim's family was disappointed to learn sentencing for the convicted killer would be delayed. Chad Westover was convicted last month of killing Tristan Thomas. Prosecutors say this was during a fight between the two of them outside a Clackamas apartment complex last year. A member of Thomas's family telling the judge how they have suffered.
The grief we live with is heavy. We wake up with it. We go to sleep with it. It follows us into every part of our day. Birthdays, holidays, and simple family moments are now filled with a painful emptiness.
The judge agreed to delay sentencing because the defense said it might have new information that could lead to a new trial, though the details were not revealed in open court today. In national headlines, President Trump's immigration crackdown has now made its way to North Carolina, with federal authorities saying they will expand operations into Raleigh, the state capital, as soon as tomorrow. This comes after authorities say they arrested more than 130 people in the first 2 days of an operation focused on Charlotte. Some encounters turned violent, with agents breaking car windows and citizens going after officers. In this incident, Homeland Security says an officer was hurt when a man drove a van into a law enforcement SUV. DHS says arrests include those with lengthy criminal records.
Too many times we're finding that some very, very disreputable individuals are seeking work in people's homes.
This is not making us safer. It's stoking fear and dividing our community.
Governor, there, some Hispanic-owned businesses have also closed, they say, to avoid becoming targets. Meanwhile, we have learned that Border Patrol officers arrested more than 560 undocumented immigrants in the Portland area in October alone. The chief of the U.S. Border Patrol posting that stat on X, saying its team is restoring order and protecting communities. It is not clear how many of those detained had criminal histories, but in an analysis of September ICE arrests nationwide, the Migration Policy Institute found 71% of those arrested had no criminal convictions. Developing tonight, a bill that compels the Justice Department to release files related to the Jeffrey Epstein investigation will go up for a vote in the House tomorrow. President Trump posted overnight that, yes, Republicans should vote to release the case files into the years-long sex trafficking investigation, saying, quote, "We have nothing to hide," end quote. That is a stark reversal for the president.
What I just don't want Epstein to do is detract from the great success of the Republican Party, including the fact that the Democrats are totally blamed for the shutdown. I'm for I don't, they can do whatever they want.
Well, one top Republican has said almost everyone plans to vote in favor of the bill. Several survivors of Epstein's abuse plan to speak outside the Capitol on Tuesday morning.